Hello, and welcome to Built by People, a DFL podcast that delivers some topical industry insight with a hint of fun, chatting about all things highway infrastructure and the built environment. I'm your host, Richard Jackson. Let's get straight into it. Welcome to today's episode. And today's guest is a personal favourite of mine because we've had a number of conversations where there was a bit of apprehension about coming onto the podcast. However, I'm really excited on the conversation I'm about to have with this guy. It is, of course, Paul Murphy from DW Windsors, who's not only a colleague in an industry, but a really good friend. Now, to get the conversation started, I want to ask you, Paul. Well, first, Paul, welcome to the podcast.
Thank
How are
you.
you feeling?
Nervous, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm from a generation where we could throw away a videotape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. Enjoy it.
Okay.
To get things going, give us
Yeah.
a quick insight into your career. Like, how did you get into the lighting industry? And,
Crikey. Well, I was quite clever at school. He was doing A levels. I did the first year. And I discovered a social life, and the head of the year gave me a form for NatWest Bank at the time, and I went and joined NatWest Bank for the first 2 years of my career. And that was a bit monotonous. And a bit like yourself, I've listened to you on this podcast. I went into the local career service after 2 years at the bank, looking for something more local. The travelling and everything else into London every single day was getting me down a bit. And DW Windsor could see me straight away. I was in jeans and a jumper and went there. They were nice and relaxed. I got the job, and that was it. 19 years old, and here I am.
dare I ask, thinking back about some of the conversations we've asked as well,
Yeah.
was Terry there when you had your interview?
No, he wasn't. No. No, pretty much. I mean, there are people still at DW Windsor that were there then, but no, Terry.
And
No.
how long were you at DW Windsor? Like, talk us, how did the career evolve from there? When you went into DW Windsor, what
Crikey,
was the role?
I was on the we call it the sales desk. We call it customer service now, dealing with orders, customer queries, problems. Just got a really good set of experience. Good and bad. And really good product knowledge. So that was the first 2 years, and then after 2 years, they said, you can go out on the road, go and talk to customers. We'll let you loose. And they gave me a Nissan Sunny. And all I remember about my first company car is the wing mirrors were nice and solid. My first car had droopy wing mirrors, this little Fiesta 1300S that I had at the time. Yeah, loved it. And went out on the road, and pretty much that's still what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're still on the road today, aren't you? And
Absolutely. I've had a couple of flirtations with management over the years, but working with customers is what I love.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
we've spoke about that, and
Yeah,
you've said to me
yeah.
that the human interface and customer interaction is of real
Yes.
value to what you enjoy doing most in your role.
Absolutely.
So, taking that back to the early stages of your career,
Yes.
how do you get formally taught about that? You talk about getting in the car and going out on the road. What did training look like, or was it just a
Training.
case of get on with it?
I mean, a little bit of frustration. I've had a lot of training, but I've kind of had, I've done a bit of ILP, ILE as it was. I've done a bit of FLIA as it is now. So just the company have always given me what they felt I needed. They didn't give me the whole diploma.
Yeah.
If they thought I just needed part 3, they gave me part 3. I mean, I have done parts 1, 2, and 3 of the ILP, for instance, but and various sort of training courses along the way. I've tried to keep, I keep a little album of all my certificates, but and old photos. So it's just pretty much what the company felt I needed at that particular time.
And
Yeah.
did they give you any specific training on how to deal with customers or how to talk to people? More of
Not,
we call them softer skills, don't we, in terms of the personal side of it? Or do you think that's just
I think they probably saw that I was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't kind of lose it. When you're losing it inside, but you can hide it. So I think they saw that in the 2 years that I was dealing with a lot of the same things, but at a desk on the phone. And so those same soft skills, I just carried on with. Looking back, there was still a lot to learn. about dealing with contractors and consultants and the mix, local authorities, all those sorts of things, and the different dynamics around those. And it takes time. I think when you first go out, there are no relationships. It is just you, isn't it? It's the legwork that you're doing. It's the knowledge and the support you can give your clients that gets those relationships going. And some of those relationships back in the early 90s are still there.
Yeah.
That a lot of them are retired, but there's a few that are still out there. No names.
I think there's a real synergy in what you're talking about there, and the longevity of building them
Yes.
relationships. And it's really hard to start up relationships. A bit like what we're talking about now. You're like, I'm a bit nervous to do this because it's a different form of communication, if you like.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you're a great communicator. Like, you look at how we interact. So, when the
Yeah.
microphones aren't here and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How
But this all started, Richard. Sorry to
That's all right.
interrupt. I did you remember at the ILP event in
Yeah.
February, I think it was. I'd used your picture in one of my sales meeting presentations. I think I said something like, "We all need to be a little bit more Richard," And what I meant was the bravery, because you
Mhm.
started really, quite inexperienced as the first time, and little did I know you'd turn that into this.
Yeah.
But, I suppose, if I was brave enough to put you up on my presentation, then I need to be brave enough to sit here, don't
And I think it's quite
Yeah.
interesting because I don't see it as brave enough for me. Maybe I should
Ah,
say
right.
stupid
Okay.
enough to do
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah.
But you are right. There's an apprehension there, and it's interesting how it changes, because I remember back in the early days of things like you say, and starting them relationships and starting them conversations are really tricky things to be able to master.
Yes,
And I think
yes.
as we've developed, I think you get used to it. You get more comfortable with it, isn't it? And
Yeah, yeah.
it's a really interesting thing how it all comes from repetition.
Yes.
When we're looking at business, obviously, the role you sit in now, where you're looking at key account and business development and sales,
Yeah.
I don't know how much marketing comes into that, but you're well aware that it starts with the marketing funnel, doesn't it? You've
Yes.
got to get the brand out there, and we talk about business brand versus personal brand now, and this is very much how the
Yeah.
world's changing. How
Yeah.
you look at AI and everything else that's going on, but people buy from people, don't they? And
Yes,
it's
they do. Yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting how
Yeah.
we develop that. And I guess one of the questions I had for you is, in terms of your role, what do you find most enjoyable? What gives you the most
Um,
satisfaction in the role?
it's a bit of a cliche, but it's the long-term
Yeah.
relationships. I do, to be able to sell, you do need a tenacity and to be
Mm,
able to, go and knock on 10 doors, get 9 no's, and then, and the 10th is a yes. So you kind of have to have that bravery. But I do enjoy now, at this stage of my career, having a lot of long-standing
mm,
relationships. And for sure, there's new ones coming along all the time. There's new people joining the industry, but it is those long-term. And I think that is, if you like, I hope that's my brand,
mm,
if you like, is that if we do an incentive, say we launch a new product at DW Windsor, I'm really first to selling 50 of them, or
mm.
5 grand or whatever it might be. But over 5 years, I probably I'm good.
Is this where we call you Mr. Consistent?
Yeah,
And I think,
yeah, yeah,
again, going back,
exactly
so
right.
you've been at DW Windsor, so it's 20 years at the minute,
Yeah,
but you were there obviously before that we were
that's
talking
right,
about.
exactly. Yeah,
How's that? I think it goes back to calling you Mr. Consistent. There's
yeah,
obviously a really strong understanding between yourself and the business there.
yeah.
But that business has also seen a lot of change, hasn't it?
It has.
How's that been for you? How's that journey been over
Well,
the
I
last
think
20
the
years?
reason I joined DW Windsor is that I at the bank every day was the same.
Yeah.
Fantastic social life, and taught me some good stuff about the big kind of corporate world, big company things. But what's kept me at DW Windsor is every day is different. The people I'm dealing with are different. Projects every day are different, and the company's different. It's DW Windsor. I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know, the Madonna of the lighting world. I don't know, but it's uh, very different. Every few years, there are new products, a new strategy, new people. So it doesn't feel like the same
Yeah.
company at all. When I joined, there were a handful of heritage lighting products. And we've gradually kind of evolved that into performance products, and now doing great big LED rollouts. Um, and the other thing is that balance of kudos versus volume, big
Mm.
numbers, if you like. And I get both of those at DW Windsor. I can be doing 2 lanterns on the front of, I don't know, Mansion House, and then thousands of lanterns into a kind of a PFI or an LED upgrade sort of thing. And both are satisfying. I know the CEO of our company, which one he prefers, but
Most CEOs do, though, don't they?
But for me, that's my motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Our goal with this is to build something for the whole industry to feel a part of. So please don't forget to like and subscribe, and drop a comment with any thoughts or suggestions for future episodes. Just evolving that, it'd be great to understand what has been your most enjoyable project to work on.
Fairly recently, the City of London LED upgrade, because that kind of embodies, the passions I have with DW Windsor is the big numbers of kind of functional products and the heritage products, a couple of really fantastic conservation lanterns with CMS. So we're marrying that technology with the kind of the conservation and the functional side of lighting as well.
Yeah.
And they're a great client as well. They actually use the CMS. They don't just, it's not just a big on-off switch that, a lot of people just think it is. They're actually monitoring all the savings and dimming properly. So really good. But when I was a lot younger, probably, what kind of took me from boy to a man was the Blue Water project.
Yeah.
At the time it was probably 1/3 the annual turnover of DW Windsor at the time, and
What was involved
massive.
in that? Was that like loads of different products, or was it the scale of
Just
it?
being the project started by kind of being in the right place at the right time. An inquiry came into the office, a telephone inquiry. Spears and Major, might have been even being Graham Spears at the time. Was making inquiries, and I just happened to be walking through. I was like, I better take that, that might be important. Went in to see them, and just started ticking all the right aesthetic and technical boxes. The age-old DW Windsor cell, it's technically good, but looks really good too. That at the time was fabulous for us.
Amazing. In terms of, you talk about clients and collaboration, how much value do you put on that in a project in terms of collaboration?
Massive, absolutely massive. And we were talking about a project earlier this week where, if all of those ingredients aren't there, you kind of get a sense that maybe the stars aren't going to align for us on this project. But when they do, you get a good vibe, don't you? You get to see this might be all right, collaboration is absolutely massive.
Yeah. And you're right. There's no better feeling than when a project comes together.
Yeah.
But can I ask, what type of loser are you?
Yeah, my head drops. But I do remember years ago, one of the sales and marketing directors at the time instilled in me a positivity, and I would sometimes come into the office at the end of the day, terrible day, I've lost something's gone wrong. Stay positive, no matter what. Stay positive, and that stayed with me. So I'm not a good loser, but I feel I'm probably lose with dignity. Is that right?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that. I recently lost a really, really big project.
Yeah.
And I remember someone said to me, "How you feeling?" I was like, "I'm so annoyed, but I can't stop there." And I very quickly go, "How do I turn the positive into it?" So then you start to understand.
You usually get a sense something's not working for you, don't you?
Yeah.
You can see someone or something about your product. It's not quite aligning here. It's not often when all those things align that you lose. Most people are decent.
I think the best thing is to unpick that, like you say, with dignity, and say, I can't just sit here and say we didn't win because they don't understand me. You have to sit there and go, we didn't win because, yes, that wasn't propositioned in the right way.
I've only had one this week, Richard. We were talking downstairs. I've won it 3 times and lost it 3 times.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm winning it, but all in a week.
all of
Yeah.
that comes from the communication element
Yeah.
again, doesn't it? Building
Yeah.
them relationships. And that's what we talk about here with
Yeah.
Built by People. There's a massive AI surge that's coming through, and everyone's talking about AI, marketing, social media, business development is going in saying, how can we use
Yes.
AI to do it? But I don't think you can lose the human
No.
touch. In terms of AI and things like that, how are you seeing that on the day to day in your role?
I will use it to tidy up an email
Yeah.
for me, and often I was like, "Can you make this sound less AI, please? More formal, less
Yeah.
American." So yeah, I think that's the main thing for me is day-to-day emails,
Yeah.
just tidying those up. But I'm finding that I often have to go pretty much back in and make it
Mm.
sound like me again in any case. But
And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the unique
I'm not from
element.
the AI generation,
Yeah.
Rich. Yeah.
I think that's the unique element though, isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
it gives you a basis for something. And
Yes.
I don't think AI will ever truly take over what we do, particularly in the, key
No.
account management.
Yeah.
We're constantly, I use this phrase and it's not about, we're constantly problem solving. And
Yes.
that's not that they're bad problems. They're just solutions to a
Yeah.
client's.
AI can only give you solutions that it knows.
Yeah.
It can't think on its feet. So yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I think again, I was on a call earlier this week where the longer I'm in this, the more responsibility I kind of feel
Mm.
to do the right. I mean, I've always done the right thing, but the customers put a lot of responsibility on me.
Mm.
I think when they see the experience, they realise I don't have to give him too much of a brief.
Yeah.
He'll know what to do. And with that, sometimes it's a bit of a burden, but I'm
Yeah.
quite glad of it too.
But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
testament to the
yeah,
trust and the relationship
yeah,
building that
yeah,
you've
yeah,
carried
yeah,
out and
yeah,
built
yeah.
over the years, and you've
Yeah, it's just
earned.
important to do the right thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think the consistency is continuing to do the right thing all the time, and people end up trusting you.
Yeah, definitely. So as we progress, I really want to talk to you about the pressure of sales and with a bit of fun versus the pressure of the podcast, because I know you felt pressure on this podcast, but you're doing fantastic. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
worry about the pressure of the
yeah.
podcast. However, how do you deal with that sales element with the pressure?
Oh, crikey! I'm a big believer in if you keep doing the right things, the good things will happen to you. I've seen people, and myself included. At the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, you finish your day. Oh, it's been rubbish today. But then the next day is going to be a
Mhm.
great day. Something good will always happen, and that's sales, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you're on your knees, someone phones, an order comes and picks you straight back up again, and you're off running. Um, so I think as long as you keep doing all the right things, and I kind of the three main metrics at DW Windsor are kind of calls,
Mm.
and that can be that can be classed as an email, a telephone call, a meaningful telephone call. Just hello there, mate.
Mm.
And actual face-to-face visits, um, as well as generating new projects and of course orders. Okay, so those three things. So I think if you're not getting orders, but the other two things are great, then hopefully your boss and you are feeling great, and you can go to your boss and sort of say, we have this chat all the time. If you're not doing so great on your figures, tell your boss about all the calls you're doing, the new projects you're bringing in and quoting. So yeah, if you're down on all three of those, then yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's not the right
I
job for you.
think particularly obviously we're an engineering consultancy and we have less sales, marketing, and BD is less of a thing in our consultancy,
Yes.
whereas you're
Yeah.
obviously product based and selling. It's really interesting to listen to that element of the conversation
Yes.
because it's only in the past few years, I'd say, as we've shaped DFL and you look at the numbers, you're right. There's so many great metrics to look at. Just because you have a bad sales month,
Yes.
if you've quoted through the roof, you can start to
Some
build
point's going to come right, isn't
exactly
it?
that. Yeah.
Um,
Just talking about the sales element of it, and you mentioned there about calls, emails, this, that, the other.
yeah.
What's the best way for you? How do you best want to communicate with your clients in terms of just getting to
Like this, face to face.
face to
Yeah,
face?
yeah. But obviously, since pandemic times, it's less, and we've all got fantastic setups at home now, and I do like it. I've got all my screens and catalogs and all that sort of thing, and it works really, really well. But face to face,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And do you mind me asking, what does a typical week look like? How many days would you say you're out and about versus?
I'd say I'm out 1 or 2 days
Yeah.
only, and the rest of the time at home. I may go into the DW Windsor office once a month.
Mm.
That's about it, really. But I'm on Teams loads. You know, I was joking with somebody earlier. You know, you feel like you've met someone even when it's just on Teams or on you've liked something on LinkedIn. So I'm a great fan of being on camera on Teams,
Yeah.
and that kind of almost gives me the same face to face.
It's really interesting that,
Yeah, yeah.
again, because I chuckle. I
Yeah.
shouldn't really talk about this, but
Yeah.
internally and externally, I think you can always see a sales or marketing or BD person versus a technical person
Yeah.
by whether their camera's on or off.
Oh, okay.
I think
All
the
right.
salespeople are there are like, "Hi, look at me, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
like let's talk face to face." And the technical people are like, "I need to get this design done. I need to do this, that, the other." And they're like, "I don't want the camera on.
It's
I
far
just get
better when
on
the
it."
camera's on, I
Yeah.
think. You know, you actually feel like you've had a meeting then, don't
Yeah.
you?
But notwithstanding that, I agree with you. Face to face is the best way of doing it. And I
Yeah.
think one of the things I think we'll see a lot more of is more networking events, more face to face events. Obviously, we're here at the Savoy today
Yeah.
to meet on the low
Exactly
leg
right.
element of it all. You know, we've got the ILP summits coming up. We've got the HA conference. I think they're going to see a resurgence personally because there's so much value in that face to face interaction
Yeah, agreed.
where
Yeah.
you get one-on-one time. I feel sometimes when you're on Teams, you get so many distractions by pings and everything else going off. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be interested to see how that evolves and what that looks like moving forward.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, but I love it. Even you know, even if it's a formally or organised meeting, I actually kind of just treat it like a telephone now. Maybe I'm a bit annoying, but
yeah,
I'm on video call the whole time.
no, it's the
And you would
best
never have
way.
done that 7 or 8 years ago, would you?
Well,
No.
and again,
Yeah.
interestingly, going back to where we were saying, you know, you're out and about probably 1 or 2 days a week. You were saying,
Yeah.
what did that look like 15 years ago?
Ah, out and about 4/5 days
Yeah,
a
constantly.
week, you know, and it was almost like a guilty secret staying at
Yeah,
home and having an admin day or a half day. But yeah, I'm a great fan of sort of the admin. You know, if I could be out seeing customers every single day, I'd do the admin on the hoof.
yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want to. I think it's impossible to save it all up for a day and just to have an admin day.
I think we can
Yeah,
both chuckle at that. I
yeah,
know if
yeah,
my team are looking at it, I think
yeah,
people that enjoy being out and about talking to people are terrible at their admin, aren't they? They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh, I'll do
yeah,
that tomorrow. I'll do that
yeah,
tomorrow."
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, I feel like yeah, there's sometimes I feel like the best salespeople are maybe not the best at admin stuff.
I'd 100% agree with
Yeah,
that. And I'm thinking about myself that I'm terrible with admin. So
yeah.
one question I did want to ask is, what do you, in terms of an industry, a lighting industry, what do you think we're getting wrong with maybe products or what we're doing? Is there anything you would change or?
No, do you know what? I think everything's really come of age
Mm,
of late. You know, I think for a long time, LEDs hit the market just after a downturn in the economy. So it took a while for lantern manufacturers to
mm,
be able to afford to invest in dedicated LED products. But that's really come of age. CMS has come of age.
mm.
You know, I think the next step is really encouraging people to actually fully exploit CMS. Don't just switch on and off. You know,
Yeah,
you can dim, you can change profiles, all of these sorts of things. Um, I mean, for us, the next thing is is solar. I mean, it's here and now, and it's just making sure that people realise, even in grey old UK, there's a place for it.
yeah.
I know you guys know that at DFL, but there is, and we're putting a lot of effort into convincing people that there is a place for solar in this country. Um, yeah, and you can now integrate
Mm.
CMS and all sorts of
I
yeah,
think you're right.
yeah, yeah,
CMS is a really interesting one because I
yeah,
think that's the push and pull on that is that it's a product that goes into the public sector, and the public sector are struggling with the resource capacity to an extent to truly be able to use it. And I
yes,
think, as an industry, we can help them to try and maybe explore and utilize much more out of that to get more
yeah,
out of their assets, sweat their assets, as we call
yeah,
it, to
yeah.
get the
Some
most
clients are
out of it.
really good at it, but others
Yeah,
less so. I
yeah.
have to say.
No, good stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any questions you wanted to ask me?
There aren't, Richard.
You sure?
I'm just relieved this is over.
Don't be like that. I want to say a massive thank you to Paul. It's been a pleasure to interview him, and I think you'll all agree. Drop a like in the comments below, or even a comment for Paul, because he has taken a real leap of faith to do this, and it has been an absolute pleasure to have the conversation.
Thank you, Rick.
Well done,
Cheers,
pal.
mate.
Thanks for listening. As we've mentioned, we're keen for this to become a podcast for the whole industry, so please, feedback is welcome. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear more.